I do believe President Biden is totally sane. Is he showing some signs of sundowning? Absolutely. Should he be replaced on the ballot? Hell yeah, he should. Is he as dangerous to this country as Donald Trump? Absolutely not.
With 122 days left in this election, we are out of time. We don't have time. We need to completely focus on this goal, this singular goal of how we're going to defeat Donald Trump and prevent people like Kevin Roberts from having power and implementing his vision for the country. The headlines right now are dominated by concerns over Joe Biden's cognition rather than the impending authoritarian takeover by Donald Trump and his minions like Kevin Roberts. And that's the problem. I would advise everyone watching this to reject commentary from anyone who tells you that the answer here is simple, that this choice is the easy one, that this pathway forward is the right one, is the easy one. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and right now is the time to be open to possibilities about what is best when it comes to defeating Donald Trump, because that's what needs to happen. And I would recommend that everyone, like I said at the top of this video, keep your eye on the ball and keep pushing forward with 122 days left in the election.
I don't know. I just feel like Donald Trump is again happy he and his scandals are not in the news and people are focused on President Biden and the, I guess right now, fallout from the debate performance. And I take Jennifer's point that it takes every moment that we're talking about Donald Trump, we're talking about Joe Biden and what he did in the debate, and are Democrats going to stick with him, and is he going to drop out? Which again, he has said now. I'm counting. I've heard at least 6 times in the last couple of days from Joe Biden himself that on television that he is not dropping out. Yet people are still like, what's it going to take? Is he mulling it over? And it's like, he said he ain't going. But we're not talking about what Donald Trump did on that debate stage. And while his performance value was, I guess, fine and good, like he met his mark on the stage, what he said was insane. He said some crazy things. I mean, like aborting the baby after 3 days. He want to tax all these people. It's not coming together. And so Donald Trump is kind of, getting away with the robbery, if you will, because we are all seems like to be singularly focused on Joe Biden and Democrats and, what they're saying about his performance.
Even with President Biden showing obvious signs of cognitive decline, let's be honest, it may not be the truth you want to hear, but folks, God bless it, it is the truth. He is. However, none of that compares to the mental problems, both psychological and possibly biological, that we see every day with Donald Trump. Robert Reich, who, by the way, has not been the biggest cheerleader of the Biden administration, out there. Robert Reich had an op-ed that was published in Common Dreams this week. And I want to read you some of what Mr. Reich had to say. He's a man I absolutely respect, I admire. So here is what Reich wrote. On Saturday, during a campaign speech in Durham, New Hampshire, Donald Trump invoked Vladimir Putin, of all people, as proof that he is being persecuted. Putin says that Biden's, and this is a quote, politically motivated persecution of his political rival is very good for Russia because it shows the rottenness of the American political system, which cannot pretend to teach others about democracy. Some commentators see this and other Trump assertions about being persecuted as calculated efforts to fuel his base. But, Reich continues, what if Trump really thinks he's being persecuted? What if he has a persecution complex? What if he believes his paranoid fantasies? Trump is not facing nearly the same scrutiny for his age as is Joe Biden, yet Trump should be, especially as to increasing signs of dementia. Biden is sane. He's getting major bills passed, he's negotiating with world leaders, but Trump, who has a family history of dementia, is increasingly incoherent and unhinged. He has confused Biden with Obama so often that he's had to put out a statement that the slips have been intentional. In September, Trump suggested that the way to prevent wildfires in California's forest lands is to keep them damp. He also said that under his administration, shoplifters would be subject to extrajudicial execution. He has also claimed that Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militant group, is very smart, that whales are being killed by windmills, that he won all 50 states in 2020, that he defeated Barack Obama in 2016, that the outgoing chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff should be executed, and that he will only be a dictator on day one of a new term. On November 11th, he said, "We will root out the communist, Marxist, fascist, and radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible, they'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream." Are these the words, Reich asks, of a sane person? Or of an aging, paranoid megalomaniac? Even if it's unclear to which category Trump belongs, shouldn't this question be central to the coverage of his campaign for re-election?
We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Right on. Thank you, brother.
In the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. A very direct threat of violence. If the left rolls over and allows it, he's saying. If the left spends its time attacking each other rather than the direct threat that is Donald Trump. If the left wastes time trapped in partisan traps, fails to think outside the box about what is most important in this election and what is the best pathway forward to beating Donald Trump. With 122 days left in this election, we are out of time. We don't have time. We need to completely focus on this goal, this singular goal of how we're going to defeat Donald Trump and prevent people like Kevin Roberts from having power and implementing his vision for the country.